back again with the woke Irish liberals from JOE.ie. Today we have a few different videos to react to, starting the first one off with this little pale, frail, pencil neck, obvious Marxist, communist little kid here talking to us why there is a fueling in far-right politics in Ireland. There's a massive far-right in Ireland that's fueled by racism, conspiracy, and fear. Oh my God, the far-right's gonna kill us all. Oh my God. From 2023 Dublin riots to attacks on asylum housing, it's more than just hate. Deeper issues like housing crisis, the fallout of the lockdowns and austerity have fanned the flames. You can watch the full 20-minute documentary on Politics Joe YouTube. Oh my God. I would love to go see that, guys, but I couldn't handle 20 minutes of the bullshit from these guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We have a minute-long video here. Of course, JOE.ie are the same as RTE, News Talk, and all these different platforms, propaganda, brainwashing. But on top of that, guys, they're almost worse because, of course, they are targeting the youth. Okay, News Talk are for older crowd, so is RT and these different platforms. But JOE.ie is attacking, young women and men 13 to 18, okay, kind of brainwashing them into thinking different things. Okay, that's not correct. So let's hear what he says.
The Irish far-right growing, and is there any truth to anything they believe? It's been claimed that 100,000 people turned out to march against immigration in Dublin City over the Easter weekend. This is found to be false.
No, okay, it wasn't. The 26th of April, I believe, there was 50,000 to 70,000. Those were the numbers that were claimed. Nobody claimed 100,000 ever, okay? Ever. What the hell is this guy talking about? Again, making up false lies about the big bad far right. And there is no far right in Ireland. There's not one political party that would be far right, guys. People are more conservative than the center, but there wouldn't be a far right. This guy's a clown, okay, with his little pale, his little ginger hair. Okay, gingers don't have souls. Just kidding, guys. Gingers are actually, people that have red hair are actually supposed to be a superior race than, normal-haired white people with brunette hair. But this guy obviously is not, not doing good for the red-headed people, okay? Red-headed people around the world should disown this guy.
Headcount aside, this march was unprecedented in scale and marked a significant chapter in the growth of the far right in Ireland.
Oh, here we go. So he said it's unprecedented in scale, and they have a guy doing a salute. He was probably just waving to people again. And there are certain people that infiltrate groups, and they're hateful towards other people, absolutely. But the overall agenda of the more conservative movement is that they don't want crazy illegal people coming in from the EU. Okay, they want regular people in the country. Okay, we don't want criminals, we don't want this, we want people vetted. It's pretty common sense thinking. We want more housing for the people. Okay, there wasn't a housing crisis in 2013. Okay, so I don't know how people figure that because immigration doesn't do anything. Well, it does, guys. It does. Lack of building houses, but also it's the amount of people coming in. I think we brought in 400,000 people last year. Too many people, guys. Too many people. It's just crazy. Now this guy obviously trying to promote his agenda, let's be honest, having a guy doing a Nazi salute. He wasn't doing a Nazi salute, and if he was, that's a tiny amount of people, and they will never really be in power, guys, the people that do Nazi salutes, okay?
So, where did these people come from? Before we go any further, let's establish some facts. It is true that Ireland is seeing an unprecedented increase in arrivals of asylum seekers.
Oh, there we go. 2008 to 2024. So, like I said, in 2021, boom, a massive increase. 400,000 people, like crazy amounts of people the last few years, guys. Too many.
These people are not part of a conspiracy to replace the native Irish population. They're fleeing.
So, we can discuss that, okay? There's 74% Irish people in the country. I wouldn't believe that that's an accurate statement. But other countries in the world don't even allow any bit of immigration. So we're doing our part, guys. We're doing enough. Don't ever feel like we're not doing enough. Okay, we're playing our part. That's fine. People are fleeing war. People are fleeing persecution, that kind of thing. But we're not the world's charity. We're not the world's charity where we can just show up and we'll just take you in and give you, food and give you shelter. People here have to pay for that. The taxes that a lot of people here are paying for, don't agree with it, guys. Because there's homeless people. There's 15,000 of our own homeless people. We have to sort out our own problems first before we can help sort out the world's problems.
War, famine, persecution, all of which are things that the native Irish population should be attuned to, given our history of being victims of colonisation and oppression.
Yeah, so nobody in Ireland has a victim mentality like this guy does. Okay, I'm not a victim of anything. Okay, once you lose your victim mentality, that's where, you know, the best part of your life will come in, guys. That's where really you'll start to achieve a lot of things. Okay, just because Ireland suffered oppression and stuff, nobody walks around here, woe is me, oh woe is me, I can't achieve anything, we were colonized by England for 800 years. No, we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps and we got to work, and now we're one of the, you know, richest countries. But that's kind of from foreign companies coming in to market the place. But we don't need to be taking in people and submitting to this bullshit, guys, and taking orders from the EU just because of what? We've had our own colonization? Like, what kind of bullshit is that, guys? No, that's not how it works.
It is true that there's pressure being placed on services across the country in some way due to the influx of migrants.
What? So he's just admitted the 2 points. There's a massive increase in people, which you can't deny. Okay, that's a statistic. Then they did opinion polls. They said 74% of people said there was too many coming in. There's just massive amounts of people. It's overwhelming to the public services, that, you know, healthcare, schools. And then he just admitted that that was true as well. So 3 points he just admitted to be correct. Like, again, add this guy to the list of retarded people that I react to in Ireland. Okay, all these people should be called out en masse.
Be they asylum seekers, people arriving here from neighbouring countries seeking work, or Irish people returning to Ireland. But there's been strain on public services in Ireland for at least the last 10 years, thanks to the policies of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael since the 2008 financial crash. If we're being honest.
Yeah, nobody disagrees with that. Everyone knows that the politicians wrecked the country as well, but they're just fueling it as well. They're getting paid by the EU, the UN to bring in people, sort of a human trafficking scheme. It's plain and simple. Everybody knows that.
Both parties have failed to invest adequately in cities, towns and villages across the country since we took the Union Jack off Dublin Castle. It is true that it can be a shock for people living in small towns and villages to have a large population of asylum seekers arrive in their community from one day to the next without little notice or consultation from those in power. Again, this is the failure of governing parties and local authorities to plan adequately. Not particularly...
No, it's not. There's no planning involved. It just shouldn't be happening. Who is this guy? Not that anybody cares, guys. Nobody knows who this guy is. He's a complete nobody. He's propped up by JOE.ie. If they had their own platforms, they would be complete nobodies. Okay, if I had millions of euro behind me like this, I would be skyrocketed, completely out of control compared to this guy. These people are not famous. They're not mainstream. They're just put there by the mainstream media to kind of prop up their agendas, guys. They have no pull whatsoever in any sort of political arena, and nobody cares what they say. But it's just funny to see these people that are being pushed by JOE.ie, right?
For an influx of asylum seekers, but for the growth of towns and villages nationwide. Ireland's a country of immigrants, and the lack of infrastructure to accommodate people in rural communities is a prime reason for us being this.
Ireland is not a country of immigrants, guys. I don't know where he's getting that idea. I've lived here my whole life. Everybody I ever know has lived here a long time. Okay, at least for 20, 30 years. Okay, if they go for a few years to Canada, to Australia to experience a new life, that's okay. But most people come back, guys. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to say. Like, most people, you'd say 90% of people come back after they immigrate.
Successive governments have willfully neglected communities like Roscrea, Liston Varna, or any other town you've heard on the lips of Twitter citizen journalists in recent years. We're now living in...
Well, I'm a YouTube citizen journalist. Twitter citizen journalists. That's a new one to me.
A period where the mismanagement of the state for the last 100 years is on full display. And instead of the blame being placed on the powers that be, it's being placed on those dealt the worst hand of all. Ireland isn't full.
Oh my God.
Ireland's been failed by the political parties that have dominated the state for the last 100 years, and the most marginalised in society are being blamed for their incompetence in a bid to keep the rich rich and the not rich divided.
Nobody is blaming immigrants. Nobody hates immigrants. I'm friends with tons of people, Brazilians. I love everyone, guys. I don't give a shit, right? From a micro scale. We're talking about from a macro scale, bringing in tons of people. It's really nuanced and it's completely different. Okay, he's saying that the rich get richer. Absolutely. Okay, this guy is the kind of left-wing, old Bernie Sanders guy. He's trying to convince the people, don't blame, the immigrants. Blame the top government, top down. Everybody knows that, dude. Like, everyone knows that. But he's also being disingenuous by throwing in little hints of Marxism, little hints of communism right there in between. And it's not true, guys. It's completely horrendous, honestly. But yeah, that was literally the worst video I've ever seen. Every single comment, you guys can't see the comments right there, but every single comment in this video, they're all just completely just roasting him. Like every single comment, guys. So, you know, they lose. Okay, now the next video from JOE.ie. These are all in the last, 24 hours. Conor McGregor tapped out on Twitter after actor Liam Cunningham delivered a brutal put down. Okay, so I don't think so at all. I think Conor McGregor actually roasted him. So Liam Cunningham was supposed to be on the ship to Gaza, which everyone, in Ireland obviously is the free Gaza thing, right? But, most these people, Greta Thunberg, Liam Cunningham, are just sort of virtue signaling assholes, basically. And Conor McGregor called him out, okay? So Liam Cunningham said, the Freedom Flotilla was attacked during the night. The ship was rammed, boarded by 12 volunteers, kidnapped. This is more representative behavior from genocidal regime in Tel Aviv. And then McGregor said, I thought you were on this boat, Lima. What happened? You forgot your goggles. You get seasick off the gargle. Bottler. Bottler is basically someone that just fails. You messed up, okay? And it's a good point. I thought Liam Cunningham was supposed to be on this, this voyage to Gaza. But he's too scared, guys. They probably thought they were going to get bombed or whatever, and obviously I'm not agreeing with Greta Thunberg, okay? I don't think that she is the correct person to do that, but the message was correct, okay? Most people agree that, okay, going there, helping deliver food to kids that are getting bombed is a good idea. But Liam Cunningham, where were you? Did you miss the boat? What happened? Like, completely, whatever, devastated because he couldn't get on the ship, and then he's just, pontificating and virtue signaling from his house in flipping probably LA or one of these rich arenas that he lives in. Does he even live in Ireland? Most of these Irish celebrities don't even live in Ireland. I know who lives in Ireland, Conor McGregor. Okay, Conor McGregor for president, vote number 1. Didn't know you could read and write, Conor, thought you used your hands to tap out. Well, Liam Cunningham, if you're so brave, why don't you fight Conor McGregor? I'd pay for that. I'd pay a big money. I'd pay €200 to go see Liam Cunningham and Conor McGregor fight. We'll see who gets tapped out then. Okay, we'll see who gets tapped out then. Conor McGregor tapped out to a choke from one of the best jiu-jitsu artists in the world, Khabib Nurmagomedov, or whatever, however you say his name. And that was one of the craziest chokes I've ever seen, guys. So saying that it's just stupid, guys, honestly, okay? I thought you used your hands to tap out, okay? Hilarious, haha. It's just like, calling Conor a tap-out artist is just lame, guys. I mean, the guy is literally a world-class fighter. Okay, the last one is Rory Hearn sat down to explain why immigrants are not to blame for the Ireland housing crisis and how the far right actually benefits parties like Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. How does the right, people on the right, benefit the mainstream? Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. That's completely stupid. The far right absolutely hate Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. So this guy is full of shit. Rory Hearn, you're an absolute retard as well. Okay, I'm just going to be calling everyone that because they both are.
Anti-immigration stuff and this whole, we're blaming immigrants for the housing crisis or blaming refugees. It is government policy that has caused this housing crisis. It has been Irish landlords who've evicted thousands of people into homelessness, not refugees.
No, Irish landlords also sold out different cities across Ireland, Carna, these different places, to kind of bring out people, so there's no hotels anymore. They just put in Ukrainian people or people from Albania or people from wherever. It's bullshit.
These not immigrants. It has been Irish landlords, it has been Irish governments who have failed to build social and affordable housing. And it's really disingenuous and purposely disingenuous of the far right and those people to be blaming immigrants and refugees for the housing crisis when actually the cause is completely different. And one of the most...
I mean, it's both, guys. It's both. It's from a macro scale. Okay, it's both. Like, it is. Like, I don't know how people figure that it's only the government that are doing that. Like, they just want everyone to come in, but if there was enough housing for everyone, then they would allow that. I just can't wait for the day that there's no housing and then the kind of homeless rate goes up to like 100,000. See what happens when the homeless rate is so high. See what they'll do. There's going to be a flipping riot in the streets. There's going to be like a civil flipping... It's going to be insane. It's going to be just lawless. So, you can wipe your hands then. I'm not flipping, I'm not getting involved in any of this stuff, guys. It's crazy because they're causing such a flipping animosity towards people. It's ridiculous. These, Marxist, communists, people on the left.
The most frustrating things of all of this is who benefits from the growth in the far right, and the rise of that is the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, who, you know, because the left is attacked, the left is blamed for standing up for and standing with refugees, and Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael get back into power again.
That was probably the dumbest video I've ever reacted to on the internet, so completely stupid. They're all idiots, guys. JOE.ie is the worst platform to ever even talk about on the internet. If you want to help me push back into mainstream, hit the join link underneath the video, become a member today for just €5 for the price of a coffee, and I will see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.